Here we go. Well, hello, all you beautiful Cambly visitors and Cambly students. Welcome to the very next Cambly live stream lesson with me, your tutor, Yuri. I'm excited to have you guys learn with me today. And as you can see there, that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be learning a little bit of comparatives and superlatives. I can see we already have a few of you magical people joining us today. Rishi has already sent some emoji hands, prayer hands on the chat. We have Human Brother saying hello. Hello, Human Brother. We're all human brothers with you. And Luan Souza, if I'm not mistaken, you did join my last live stream from Brazil, if I'm not mistaken. And peace with you too, Human Brother. Lesson going, everyone. Hello, Johnny. And I don't know how the weather is where you all are, but here, where I'm from, presently in South Africa, the weather is getting very hot. So over the course of today's lesson, you might start seeing me sweat. And that's not because I'm nervous. That's just because it's really, really hot here. Just the other day, it was 37 degrees. And it's not even summer yet. We're only in spring. Whew. So, how about telling me what the weather is like where you guys are from? Let me know where you're from and how the weather is. I'd love to read out a few of your messages. If you want to do that, you guys can just do it in the chat. And while you guys are writing that down, I'll do a little introduction. I'll introduce myself for those of you who haven't met me yet. For those of you who don't yet know me, my name is Yuri. I'm from South Africa, but I've lived in many countries all around the world, maybe even your country. I've lived in the Middle East, in Asia, in Europe, and now I'm back in South Africa. I've also made many videos for Cambly. If you want to watch any more of my videos, or if you want to watch any of the videos from all of the amazing Cambly tutors, well, just need to check out the Cambly playlists, where you can check out all of the videos we've made on all of the amazing lessons that we do that you guys can use to ensure that you guys can practice your English. And here we go. I see many of you have started sending us some messages. We've got Ahmed from Pakistan, and here he says it's turning cold. All right, well, that's to be expected. You guys are in the Northern Hemisphere and you're moving into winter. All right, who else? We've got Lelan. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. From Brazil. And oh, you're living in Ireland now. And today's cloudy as usual. Yes, I've lived in England and I understand the weather is very similar there. So you get a lot of cloud and a lot of rain. So you're probably going to have more of that. We've got Axel from Togo, and it's 28 degrees Celsius there. We've got Natok from Bangladesh, Sakina from France. Wonderful. Thank you, everyone, for giving us a few little messages on the chat. I invite you all to please make sure that if you have any questions, you can place them on the chat. We have another Cambly member who will be there to answer any questions you might have. I obviously can't always answer those questions because I'm focused on teaching. So if I don't respond, please try to understand I'm focused on the teaching. And if it is an important question to be answered, our Cambly member and staff member will try to answer that for you. All right. So let's see. Let's move on to today's lesson, shall we? And as I mentioned before, today we're doing comparatives and superlatives. But just one little message before we do begin with the lesson. I just want to make sure that if you guys need to leave today's lesson early, and if you can't be here for the whole lesson, you don't have to worry because this video is being recorded and you will find it on the Cambly playlist. So if you want to come back because you want to go over the whole lesson, well, then you can just go to the YouTube playlist and you can watch it back later. Otherwise, maybe you just want to watch it again because there are a few things you didn't quite understand and you just want to make sure that you understand it completely. So you want to watch the video again. That too is an option. And all you need to do is go to the YouTube playlist, the Cambly YouTube playlist, in order to do that. And if you guys look in the message chat, you'll see it now. There it is. There are two possible links you can go to. You can click on those links, maybe open it up in a different tab. And later on, if you want to recheck the lesson for today, or if you can't be here for the whole lesson, just go to the video. It'll be on the playlist once the lesson has finished today. All right, so wonderful. I see Human Brothers pinned it. Brilliant. Without further ado, let's begin, shall we? Okay, so we're going to begin with comparatives and superlatives. Now, this looks like a really long word, two really long words. And maybe because they're long words, you might think that's difficult. What does that mean? Well, fortunately, it's not too complicated. Comparatives and superlatives. Does anyone know what that is? I'll maybe give you guys an opportunity to give it a try. Perhaps some of you do. So if you think you do, put it in the chat and I'll come back and check in to see which of you guys got it right. But basically, a comparative and a superlative is a kind of adjective. So I suppose before we go into too much detail in terms of what these are, I want to make sure you guys understand what adjectives are. Because if you don't, we need to make sure you do before we can move on. So simply, I'm just going to tell you first, an adjective describes a noun. An adjective gives us more information about a noun. And that also means we probably need to know what a noun is. So let's start there. Now, this should be an easy one. Most of you should know what a noun is. I'd like you guys to write down a few nouns if you think you know what that is. And for those of you who don't, let's go over what it means. A noun is a thing, and nouns are the basic building blocks of sentences, some of the most important words we use in sentences. These things, nouns, can represent a person, an animal, a place, an idea, an emotion. Almost anything that you can think of is a noun. As simple as that. For example, let's take this bottle. This is a noun. Bottle is a noun. Phone. Phone is a noun. Let's think of some people. Teacher. That's a noun. All right. So we know what nouns are now. You should all know what that is. So then we have to move on to an adjective. What is an adjective? Well, an adjective are words that describe or modify nouns or pronouns. That means words that give us more information about the nouns. They give us more information about the nouns or the pronouns. That's pretty much what an adjective is. It gives us more info. It basically describes the noun. All right, I see that Jennifer has given us a noun, cat. Now, Jennifer, I challenge you to give us an adjective to describe cats. Give us a word that gives us more information about cat. And then you will have an adjective. All right. All right, so I see Sadeep has asked again, what is an adjective? I'll go over that one more time, just quickly. An adjective are words that describe or modify nouns or pronouns. That means adjectives are words that give us more information about nouns. So let's use this example again. This is my phone. This is a thing. The phone is a noun. Let me think of a word to describe the noun. Smooth. It's a smooth phone. Silver. It's a silver phone. These are words that describe the noun. These are adjectives. Smooth, silver. So to make sure you guys understand what adjectives are, I'm going to give you guys some nouns. I want to challenge you guys to give me adjectives to describe these nouns. So in the chat, I want you to write down number 1, dress, and write an adjective that'll describe dress. You might want to put the adjective before the noun. So give me a word to describe the dress. Something dress. Number 2, something fighter. Number 3, something ocean. Number 4, a something teacher. Number 5, a something student. So let's go. Write down in the chat. Give me some adjectives to describe these nouns. All right. Let's see what you guys come up with. All right, Kelipan. Yes, I suppose you could say I'm speaking UK English, although my accent is South African. Luan is the first to come up with something. The red dress. Red is your adjective to describe the noun. Well done. Cherie has come up with 2 adjectives to describe the dress. Red long dress. Well done. Kalipan has got fighter. The firefighter? Sure. The word fire will describe the kind of fighter that he is. He fights fire. What else have we got? We've got a beautiful dress to describe the dress. We've got Kalipan describing the ocean as wide, the wide ocean. So wide is the adjective to describe the ocean. Let's see if anyone can start with teacher. Who's going to be the first one to give me an adjective to describe teacher? Oh, very close, Luan. You said the wiser teacher. Sure, you could say that. He's a wiser teacher. Or you could just say the wise teacher. All right, let's see who else can come up with perhaps one for student. I think someone did earlier. The brave student. Kalipan again. Phenomenal. The special student. Thank you, human brother. The skill teacher. Amazing. If you guys want to look at some great examples of great adjectives that describe the nouns, just look in the chat. And this is exactly what I wanted to see. I wanted to make sure you guys understand adjectives and nouns because that's what comparatives and superlatives are. They're a form of an adjective. The ones we just did are called descriptive adjectives. That means that they're simply describe a noun. They just give us more information about the noun. For example, a beautiful woman moved in next door. The word beautiful gives us more information about the noun woman. So beautiful is the descriptive noun. It describes the woman. My wife is wearing a colorful dress. The word colorful describes the dress. It gives us more information about the dress. James is a furious fighter. The word furious is the adjective, and it gives us more information about the noun fighter. Now that you guys understand, or at least show me that you better understand adjectives, we can move on to comparatives and superlatives. And the first one we're going to do is comparatives. So here is the definition of a comparative. A comparative is a special kind of adjective used when comparing one thing to another thing. So we use this adjective to give us more information when we liken one thing with another thing, when you compare it, when you say this is like this or this is like that. Now, there's an important word inside this word that helps you to understand what a comparative does. There it is there. You can kind of make it out there. It's in red. It's not the complete spelling of the word, but it's most of it. Compare, comparative. And that's how you can remember what a comparative does. I see Kalipan knows comparatives. He's already ahead of us. A comparative helps us to compare. All right, so let's get a few items we can use to do exactly that. So as I said, a comparative is used to describe a noun by comparing it to another. And I see a few of you are showing me you understand what this is. This is amazing. This is great. What we do is we normally just add ER. For example, big, but the other thing is bigger. Small, but the other thing we're comparing it to is smaller. So let me show you a few examples, and you guys are writing them in the chat. This is great. So this by itself, you might say is big. But if I compare it to this, it's not big anymore. Now this is smaller, but this one is bigger. And those are comparatives. When we are comparing one thing, it's much bigger. Napa, you're absolutely right. When we're comparing one thing with another thing, that's when we use comparatives. So now let's move on to the next one. Superlatives. What are they? Well, superlatives are words used to describe a noun when comparing it to 2 or more nouns to a higher or a lower level. So that means we're not just comparing 2, maybe we're comparing 2, but we might be comparing more than 2, maybe 3 different things. Then we use superlatives. Now, what happens here is it changes a little bit. Now we add the word the before the adjective, and then we add est to the adjective itself. For example, big, the biggest. Small, the smallest. All right, Napa's giving us some good sentences. Adam is the tallest student in the class. Exactly. Okay. What else have we got? Who else is giving us some great answers here? Short, shorter. Well done, Shazia. All right. And Faiza's explaining what furious means. We have Johnny saying big and the biggest. Don't forget, Johnny, to include the before biggest. It is an important part of a superlative. So let me find 3 things we can compare to each other. All right. So I've got 3 different bottles. We've got this one. I'll put it there. We've got this one, and we've got this one. I'm going to try hold these in one hand so I can do this for you guys. So you can see there's a difference in size between these 3. This one is small. This one is bigger. And this one is the biggest, precisely. But do we always have to compare the same things? Are we always comparing things that are the same? Like I just showed you 3 bottles. No, we can compare many different things. So let's take many different things, for example. We're going to use my bracelet. That's one thing. We're going to use the bottle. That's a different thing. So they don't have to be the same thing. But if I compared this one to this one, I would say this is smaller and this is bigger. So remember, you can compare many, many different things to one another. So what is important to know when we are comparing things, when we are creating comparatives or superlatives, is how to form these. How do we form a comparative in the superlative? Well, it depends. It depends on how many syllables the adjective contains. And sometimes it also depends on whether it ends in a Y. If we have some time, we'll do this one, whether it ends in a Y. But first, we need to focus on how many syllables it has. All right. So let's move on to that. So how many syllables the adjective has will depend on how we form the comparative or superlative, or how it changes. So let's make sure you guys all understand what this is. A syllable. What is a syllable? Let's see what some of you guys say. A unit of pronunciation having one vowel sound with or without surrounding consonants, forming the whole or a part of a word. Wow, Calipan. That is pretty impressive. Okay, that is the official definition, I think, for a syllable. But if we're going to think about it as simply as possible, a syllable is one unit of sound in English. It is one sound that we hear within a word. And a word might have more than one sound. So there's a way I like to do this. There's a way I like to practice trying to hear how many sounds a word has. And I clap my hands. But before I show you how to do that, I would like to challenge you guys to see if you guys can tell me how many syllables some of these words have. So I'm going to give you some words, and I'm going to challenge you to tell me how many syllables you think you can hear. Okay? You see them here. Here's the word long. How many syllables do you think long has? How many units of sound can you hear in the word long? Let's see if you guys, okay, Maggie is very quick there, 1. You would be correct, Maggie. Well done, human brother. How many syllables can you hear in the word shame? How many syllables can you hear in that word? Let's give it a go. Okay. All right, Ahmed's still on the word long. I'm waiting for a few guys to give me some on shame. Cherie said 1 in shame. You would be correct. All right, let's move on to silent. How many syllables can you guys hear in the word silent? 2, exactly, Nazlia. There are 2 syllables in silent. All right, maybe you guys could hear it. Maybe you couldn't. I'll help you to figure out how to do that in a moment. Let's try the next word, lazy. How many syllables can you hear in the word lazy? Okay. We've got Shazia said 2. That's correct. 2 syllables in the word lazy. All right, we're getting a little bit longer now. Amazing. How many syllables can you hear in that word? How many syllables in the word amazing? 3. Maggie, you got it. Yes, Cherie, 3. And the final word, delicious. How many syllables can you hear in the word delicious? How many units of sound can you hear? Shazia again, 3. Exactly. Now, let me show you guys how I like to do this. Sometimes it's difficult to know for sure. So what I like to do to make sure I have an idea of how many syllables I can hear is I clap my hands. So I'll do this quickly. Amazing. Delicious. That's how I like to do it if I'm not sure. But sometimes when you say it, you can actually hear the pauses in between the words, or at least in between the sounds. Amazing. I'm sure you guys heard that, right? Delicious. You could almost hear it being broken up into 3 parts. And that is how we determine how many syllables a word has. And again, this is important because knowing how many syllables an adjective has will help us to understand how we form it into a comparative and into a superlative. So let's make sure we understand exactly how it works. So I'm going to cover what we've just covered so far. I need to make sure you guys have this 100% down. So a comparative and a superlative are forms of a word for the most basic one-syllable adjectives where we add ER for the comparative and we add EST for the superlative. Big, comparing it to one other thing, it's bigger. Comparing it to maybe 2 or 3 things at a higher or a lower level, it's the biggest. And don't forget to include the. All right, so hold on. T-Movies is saying he doesn't understand syllables. I'm going to go over it just quickly for one more second. I want to make sure T-Movies understands syllables again. All right, so T-Movies, we're going to go over it just quickly, just to make sure you got it. So a syllable is how many sounds you can hear in a word. Now, if I say the word long, I only hear 1 unit of sound, long. If I say shame, I only hear 1 unit of sound, shame. If I say silent, you may have heard that it's almost like 2 sounds. Silent, silent, 2 syllables. Lazy, lazy. I can hear 2 sounds. It's almost like it's broken up into 2 parts. All right, and there you go. You see someone, our amazing Cambly staff member has broken down the word delicious into 3 syllables, 3 units of sound. All right, I hope that's clear for you because we're going to move on now. So now, when we have a comparative and a superlative that has 1 syllable, well, then it's pretty easy. All we really do is, when it's a comparative, when you're comparing it to one thing, you just add ER. When it's a superlative, when you're comparing it to maybe 2 or 3 things, and maybe to a higher or a lower level, well, then you're just adding EST, as you can see there. And again, don't forget to include the biggest. So this is big. Yeah, this is big. But this is bigger. And this is the biggest. Same with tall. This is tall, that boy is taller, and the girl is the tallest. That mouse is very small, but the germ is smaller. And I'm trying to think of something that's even smaller than that, because that would be the smallest, maybe an atom, if you know what that is. And then let's say Egypt is quite hot. Where would it be hotter than Egypt? In the Sahara Desert, it is hotter. And on the sun, it is the hottest. So that is what we do when there's 1 syllable, because if you listen to these words, they only make 1 unit of sound. Big, only one sound. Tall, only one syllable. Small, only one syllable. Hot, only one syllable. And that's why we just add ER for the comparative and EST for the superlative. But now you guys might notice something interesting. Can you guys notice that we're doubling the T on hot? And we're also doubling the G on bigger. Does anyone know why we do that? Why are we doubling the G for bigger when there's only one G there? And why are we doubling the T on hotter when there's only one T there? Anyone? I'll give you guys a chance to try to guess that one if you don't know it already. Napa. Yes, Napa is on the ball. Napa's really paying attention. It's got to do with vowels and consonants. Well done, Napa. That's impressive. So, thank you. Someone just said it, Luan, CVC words. CVC stands for consonant, vowel, consonant. What is a consonant? Well, consonants are all the letters of the alphabet except A, E, I, O, and U, which are vowels. So when a word is a consonant, a vowel, and a consonant, like these, F is a consonant, A is a vowel, and T is a consonant. When we make it a comparative, what do we have to double? The last letter. Okay, so I challenge you guys to write the comparatives and the superlatives for these words, because these are CVC words. Even this one, even though this one is 4 letters, this letter here, L, is a consonant. This letter here is a vowel, and this letter here is a consonant. So we have to double the last letter when we're making a comparative. So come on, guys, in the chat, write down the comparative for fat, and then also write down the superlative for fat in the chat. Let's see what you guys can come up with. Don't forget, you got to double the last letter. All right, eagle, fly, flatter, well done. You doubled the T, good job. All right, who else can come up with the next one for thin? All right, Kalipan, can you do it? Come on, Kalipan, I'm expecting you to do some of this work. You're always so fast. All right, there we go. We got Napa ready on thin, thinner. She doubled the last letter. Brilliant. Let's see, can we do the next one? Who's gonna get wet first? There we go, Luan again, wet and the wettest. She gave us the superlative. Doubled the T. We got 2 more to go. I think someone did flat. Did someone do flat? I think I missed it, but they may have. We got flat and glad. Let's get someone to do that quickly. Just have those 2 to go. Thank you, Tanya. Yes. Okay, eagle fly. Flat, flatter. Good. The flattest. Don't forget the, guys. You have to always have the in front of the superlative. And T-movies. You got it, T-movies. Glad and gladder. The gladdest. And you doubled the last letter. Okay, great. We are getting there. You guys are showing me you really understand this. Okay, so here's a few sentences to make sure you understand. A comparative, if you remember, you're comparing it one thing to another thing. I am faster than my father. So I am comparing how fast I am to my father, so I'm faster. Fast is 1 syllable, so all you do is add ER. Now, you might notice I've put the word than in red. That's because it's important to include the word than when you're doing a comparative for a single syllable. I am faster than my father. We need to use the word than to show we're comparing it. Okay? The next one. Egypt is hotter than England. We're comparing how hot Egypt is to England. Hot has only 1 syllable, so we just add ER. It ends with a T and it's a CVC word, so we have to double the T. And again, don't forget, we have to include the word than when we're comparing it. When it comes to superlatives, when we're comparing it to 2 or more things at a higher or a lower level, She is the tallest student in the class. We're comparing the girl to the other students. More than one student, right? So we have to use the superlative. She is the tallest. Tall is a single synonym word or adjective. So we add est. It's a CVC word. So we double the L. And of course, don't forget, we add the. And the last one, just to make sure you guys understand this, that was the shortest race I have been in. We're comparing the race to another race, to many other races, maybe. So we're saying that was the shortest because short is a single syllable. We add est, and we, of course, add the in the front because that's what we have to do with superlatives. Now, guys, we've done adjectives with one syllable. Now we're going to do adjectives with two syllables. Remember, that's 2 units of sound. So 2 syllables. Here are examples of some words, some adjectives that have 2 syllables. Happy. To something else, happier. If it's the superlative, you're comparing it to maybe 2 or 3 things that are higher or a lower level, the happiest. Crazy. Crazier, the craziest. And sometimes, now this is important, guys, sometimes when a word has 2 syllables, we change it to more or less. So if it's more, we say it's more nervous. This is an example of a word that has 2 syllables, nervous. Then with this word, we add more if it's higher, right? I am nervous for my exam, but my friend John is more nervous. And his friend Frank is the most nervous. So here we change it by adding most. And don't forget again, with the superlative, we have to add the. Okay. And then 3 syllables. With 3 syllables, it changes again. With 3 syllables, when an adjective has 3 syllables, then we always use more for the comparative, most for the superlative. So you guys can see this word here, mysterious. Actually, before I show you this, let's see how many of you can tell me how many syllables this word has. Wonderful. Put in the chat how many syllables wonderful has. Let's see who can tell me. How many syllables does the word wonderful have? Which of you guys will get it first? Okay. Okay, I'm going to cover that now, Eagle. Well done, Napa. 3. Well done, Eagle. Brilliant. Calipan, 3. Yes. How many syllables does the word delicious have? Anyone? We may have done this one before. Ah, there we go. All right, someone's given you some help there. 3. Well done, Tanya. All right, so if the adjective has 3 syllables, whoa, look at you all. All right, well done. If the adjective has 3 syllables or more, that is when the comparative, we use more. So let me give you an example with this one, mysterious. This book I'm reading is so mysterious, but the other book, the Harry Potter book, is more mysterious. And the other book I'm reading by Stephen King is the most mysterious book I have ever read. Let's use the word wonderful. Wonderful, 3 syllables, which means we have to now use more. So the sun this morning, the sunrise was wonderful, but the sunrise yesterday was more wonderful. And the sunrise I saw 2 days ago was the most wonderful sunrise in the world. And then the last one, delicious, also 3 syllables. Because it has 3 syllables, we use more. This food I'm eating is delicious, but the food I ate for breakfast was more delicious. And the strawberry cake I'm going to have later is the most delicious cake I've ever had. Now remember that because we compare things higher, we use more. We can also compare things lower, and then we use less. So maybe we'll use delicious again, and we'll say, this bread I've eaten is delicious. but the bread I had yesterday was less delicious. And the grapes I ate the day before was the least delicious. All right, so now you guys should understand the differences in comparatives and superlatives when we have one syllable, two syllables, and three syllables or more. Okay. So we're going to be doing some exercises in a moment, guys, to make sure you guys really, really understand these. I'm going to test you guys to make sure you understand. But before we move on to those tests, we have to know irregular adjectives. Yes, sometimes we have adjectives that don't follow the rules. They don't follow the rules where we add ER or EST. They don't follow the rules where we say more or most. They're just different, and you have to know these. So, for example, if I say something is good and I'm comparing it to something else, I don't say gooder. I don't say the goodest. This one changes to better and the best. Don't forget to add the in the superlative. The best. Okay? Bad becomes worse and the worst. Little becomes less and the least. These are just ones you guys are going to have to learn. These are irregular. They don't have rules. You just have to remember they don't follow the normal rules. All right, so Eaglefly asked a question about the word naughty. So this is a good question, Eaglefly. What naughty becomes is naughtier, because how many syllables does naughty have? Naughty. How many syllables does it have? You guys tell me. Eaglefly, can you tell me? How many syllables does the word naughty have? That was your question. How many syllables? Anyone want to guess? Who can tell me how many syllables naughty has? 2. Exactly. All right. It has 2 syllables. So what do? We just add ER at the end. But this is a word that ends with a Y. So I'll maybe do this for you quickly. Since T-Movies has asked, the word naughty ends with a Y. So I'm going to write it here. I hope you guys can see it. So what you do when you have a word, an adjective that ends with a Y, we're going to add the ER, but you have to take the Y away. You add an I instead of the Y, and then you add the ER. It becomes naughtier. And the same happens with the superlative. When you're comparing it to 2 or more things at a higher or low level, naughty becomes the, so don't forget to include the, and the no. And then again, the Y goes away. You add an I instead, and then you add EST. So it's pretty much the same. Whenever a word ends with a Y, the only things you take the Y away, you replace it with an I. You add ER for the comparative. For the superlative, you add the, you take the Y away, you add an I, and then you add EST. So it's pretty much still the same. I hope that's clear for you, T-Movies. Okay? Let me rub that out quickly. All right. So before we start with the games, let's make sure you guys understand. I'm going to show you a few sentence examples, and then I'm going to teach, what I'll teach you, I'm going to challenge you guys to answer some questions to show you understand. Okay. So here are your comparative and superlative examples. I am slower than my sister. So this is one syllable, slow. So you just add ER. I'm comparing my speed to my sister. And don't forget, we have to add than. The next one, my burger is more delicious than your hot dog. I'm comparing the burger to someone else's hot dog. Delicious has 3 syllables, so we have to add more. And of course, because it's comparative, we add the word than. Let's move on to the next one. Superlative adjectives. First one, remember superlative, you add EST. My apartment building is the tallest in my city. I'm comparing my apartment to all of the others in the city. My apartment building is the tallest. So tall, one syllable, tall. So we add EST, we add the in front, and there's your superlative for that sentence. And the last one I'm going to show you before we challenge you to some exercises, that was the most amazing movie ever. I'm comparing this movie to all the other movies I've ever seen. That was the most amazing. Okay, has how many syllables? 3. So I add most and the in front of that, and there we have it. Okay, so guys, are you guys ready for your challenge? Are you guys ready for your exercises? Because it's going to involve some pictures. You guys, okay, good. Everyone's ready. Kalipan, you're not ready. Come on, Kalipan. I know you can do better. Come on, Kalipan. You got this. Okay, do your best, Kalipan. Do your best. It's not about getting everything right. It's about trying. Good. I see everyone is saying they're ready. All right, guys, here is your first sentence. You see this picture. I want you to use this picture to try and answer the first sentence. The first sentence says, the woman is something than the man. What do you guys think the answer is? Kalipan, you see, you do have it. The woman is happier than the man. Well done. Look at that smile. She's smiling. She's definitely happier. He's definitely not. All right, so the woman is happier than the man. Good. Let's try the next sentence. All right, you can see the picture. The man is, the word excited, than the woman. How many? Yes, more excited. Well done, because excited has 3 syllables. Excited. Brilliant, Kalipan. You do have it, Kalipan. You're better than you think. Okay, well done, guys. Okay, good. You guys are doing amazing. We're going to move on to the next picture. Here is your next picture, ladies and gentlemen. All right. It looks like a man and a woman in a doorway having a conversation. So here we go. Here's your next question. The man is something, the man is tall than the woman. All right, that should be an easier one. The man is, well done. Yes, the man is taller than the woman. Clearly, you can see that. He's definitely taller than the woman. You guys are really good. You guys are impressing me. Let's do the next one. The woman is beautiful than the man. Who can do this one? The woman is beautiful than the man. All right, Napa just said more. Yes, more beautiful. Exactly. Well done. The woman is more beautiful than the man. Okay, you guys are really good at this. I love this. It means you guys are really understanding and grasping today's lesson. You're showing me you have a good understanding of it. You know how to use it well. So now here is the next challenge. This time, I'm not going to show you any sentences. This time, I'm going to say some sentences, and I'm going to see who can tell me the correct answers. I'm going to show you the picture, though. Here is the picture. All right, you should all be able to see it. I like this cake. It's good. But this cake is what? If this cake is good and I'm comparing it to this one, I think this one is even greater. What do I say? It is, remember, it's an irregular adjective. Better. Well done. Yes, this cake is better. But I still think this one is the, who's got it? I'm waiting for you. Come on. Yes, you are super fast. It's Irenitan. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Irenitan, well done. It is the best. There you go. All the answers are coming through. Wendley, Monica, Johnny, Joseph, phenomenal. Axel Foley. I like your name, Axel. That's a cool name. All right. Now let's do another one. All right. So I think the strawberry cake is delicious. But I think this one is, I'm going more, I'm going higher. I think this one is, who's got it? Yes, human brother, it's more delicious. Exactly. But even though this one is more delicious, I had this one the other day, and it is the what? This one is the, who's going to come up with it first? The most delicious eagle fly. Well done. It is the most delicious. Now, what if I like them less and less and less? So let's try that. I'm going to use the word amazing. All right, you're going to have to tell me. You should know how many syllables amazing has. So now I'm going to go down. So let's use the word disgusting. Okay, no, hold on. Actually, I do want to use the word amazing. Okay, yes, Eaglefly understands what I'm doing. Yes, this is amazing, but this one, I didn't like it so much. It was, Eaglefly got it, less amazing. And this one was the, who's got it? It was the, not more, we're going down, the least amazing. Maggie, amazing. Well done, you got it. All right, phenomenal, guys. You guys, brilliant. All right, amazing, guys, phenomenal. So we're almost out of time. So to finish up today's lesson, here is your final challenge. Here are your sentences. I would like you guys to write down the number and then the answer in the chat. Now remember, you might have to include the word the, you might have to include the word then. I want to see both those words. Make sure you include the number. Okay, Maggie, you have to include both words. It's not just bigger. It's not just bigger. There we go. Kalipan, you got it. Is bigger than India. China is bigger than India. You have to use the word than. Well done, Wendley. All right, who's going to do number 2 first? Good job, Axel Foley. Good job. Okay. Oh, you can't see Napa? I'll bring it closer. All right, let me help you there. Does that make it easier, guys? You should be able to see it now. Let's do number 2. Russia is, what do you think it is? The biggest. Axel, you got it. Russia is the biggest country in the world, and it is. Let's move on to number 3, guys. A Ferrari is, now this word has than, and expensive has 3 syllables. Expensive, not too expensive. Ferrari is more expensive than. All right, phenomenal, exactly. And the last one, guys, number 4, Ronaldo is the, we don't say good, Eaglefly's got it. Ronaldo is the best football player in the world. Axel's got it too. You guys are impressive, and I am impressed by you. Whew. Well done, guys. That was super, super good. All right. So I'd like to open up the floor to any questions. If anyone has any questions, if they want to know something about the lesson today, please put them in the class. All right. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Napa. It was fun, wasn't it? All right. And a little bit competitive. Yes. Eaglefly, you did great. I think everyone did so great today. Remember, guys, it's not about getting everything right. It's about doing your best. And if you can get better every time, then guess what? You're learning. You have to be okay to make mistakes, because you can only get better if you make a mistake, because then you'll learn from your mistake. All right? Human, I'm excited too, and I love to see you guys get excited. Johnny just wants more. Okay, Johnny, we can't do too much more, otherwise we'll run out of time. All right, you're welcome, Monica. I'm super glad that you enjoyed today's lesson. All right. All right. Oh, yes, I do teach IELTS, actually. Maybe that will be one of my future lessons on a live stream. I'll do a class on IELTS to give you guys some kind of preparation if you have to prepare for an IELTS test. All right, guys. So question time is over. Now, I want to mention to you guys, you may know this already. Many of you guys have been on our streams, but some of you may not. And you might not know about Cambly, because Cambly is a service where we can teach you English. It gives you instant access to friendly native English speakers like me. And we have so many other amazing English tutors. And you can learn English. You can take lessons anytime, anywhere, right from your phone or your computer. All you have to do is schedule a lesson on Cambly with me or any of our amazing tutors. And all you have to do is use the link in the video down below. So guys, if you want to join Cambly, then consider this. This is the Cambly promo code. What does this do? If you use this code, it's going to give you, I think, 30% discount. 36, oh my goodness, it's gone up. You get even more discount now. Johnny, it's a 36% discount. That makes it much cheaper. So guys, this is worth considering. If you want to learn with tutors like me, if you want to learn with other amazing, cool tutors who are fun and crazy and make lessons enjoyable, well, then consider joining Cambly and use this code, Go Live. Don't forget, guys, you have to use big uppercase letters for the entire word Go Live. And then you guys get that 36% discount. Okay. All right. Thank you, everyone. That's it from me. I think I'm done. We managed to do 50 minutes today, which is a lot less than my last class. Last time we did almost an hour and 5 or 10 minutes, which is quite long. So I wanted to try to cut it down today. Eagle, thank you very much. I loved teaching the class for you guys. You're welcome, Napa. Thank you. Okay. All right. And Dominica is talking about having done a mock speaking test for IELTS. Dominica, you can join me on Cambly if you want, and I can help you more on that if you like as a tutor. All right, guys, that's it for me. Otherwise, I'm going to have to read all of the chat comments, and I can't do that, or we'll be here forever. And I will end off by saying thank you very much to all of you. You have been an amazing class. I've loved teaching you. I've loved your enthusiasm, and I've loved that you guys have kind of joined in. Thank you, Kalapan. Thank you, Samuda. Thank you, Tanya. Thank you, Human. I can't mention you all because I will be here forever, and we'll leave it there. Until next time, everyone, have a wonderful day. Goodbye.